Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Spartans coming together today to remember, reflect, and heal. Today marks the somber one-year anniversary on the deadly shooting on the campus of MSU. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kim DeGiulio.
And I'm Rhonda Walker. Today, classes are canceled and a remembrance gathering is planned to remember the students who lost their lives that day. Will Jones is on campus today in East Lansing. And Will, you've had a chance to kind of walk around. What's the feel out there?
Well, Rhonda and Ken, we got to campus about 45 minutes ago, not knowing what we were going to see once we got here. And I can tell you, once we got on campus, it shifted the mood. It was very somber. I'm going to step out of the way. This is the Rock, and this is the first spot we came to once we got on campus. You see it's painted and it says Spartans Together. Since we've been here, we've seen dozens of students come by and they sit here. Some stand, but they're all reflecting on what happened a year ago, and you can see tears come down their eyes. They hug each other, showing each other support. This is incredibly tough for students to relive the memories that they experienced a year ago. Some of them knew those three students who died: Ariel Anderson, Alexandria Verner, and Brian Frazier, all from Metro Detroit. There are a lot of activities scheduled today for students who just need time to process their emotions. There are reflective spaces with crisis counselors. There are also kindness activities for students to take part in. Tonight there will be a remembrance gathering on campus, and for Spartans who can't make it to the gathering, they can light a luminary from wherever they are this evening. The whole goal is for people to come together and do what you need to do to get through our grieving. So this has been a really challenging time for these students, and I can tell you it's been incredibly just tough for me observing these students and trying to ask them if they want to talk. A lot of them have said that they don't want to talk. They just want to be by themselves and come here to this Rock and process their emotions, and certainly that is what we are allowing them to do. We're live on the campus of MSU. Will Jones, Local 4.
I think that's the best thing that we can all do, is just provide our support and allow everyone's emotions to be where they are. And our thoughts are certainly with all of those who are most closely impacted.
Absolutely. Thank you for that report. Wow, that was nice.
Since that day, the school has spent the past year making security and safety improvements all around campus to make it safer.
Metal detectors have been installed at sporting venues on campus like Spartan Stadium and the Ice Arena as well. Many of the classrooms and lecture spaces on campus have also had upgraded door locks installed. Also, students and staff now take active violence incident training online. We'll have more on these changes and the others that happened in this past year later on today on Local 4 News.
Also, Governor Gretchen Whitmer released a statement regarding today's somber anniversary. It says in part, "Let's stand united as we remember those we lost, support those who bear scars, both seen and unseen from that day, and continue to heal and process together."
Students are helping mark the anniversary with a day of service and helping people understand that it's been a very difficult year of grief.
We want to get to Christy McDonald for that. She joins us now in the newsroom. I know you talked with the president of the MSU Student Organization.
Yeah, I did, Rhonda, just a short time ago, Emily Hoyampa, and she said it last year it was Spartan Strong, but this year, as you saw on the Rock that Will just showed us, it's Spartans Together, and they've had to navigate how to mark today, knowing full well that so many different students are experiencing different emotions.
You see those stories in the news, and you never think it's going to happen to you until it does, and then there's no blueprint on what do you do when you go through a mass shooting? What do you do when you're barricaded for 4.5 hours? And not knowing when it's going to be over? What do you do when you're texting your loved ones, hey, I don't know if I'm safe or not, right? There's no talking about what happens after. So when we were coming together for marking this anniversary and marking the advocacy and programming going on through this entire week, we wanted to look at how could the Michigan State Spartan community, whether it be here on campus, around the nation, around the globe, could stand in support of their fellow Spartans if they wanted to have that shoulder to cry on, if they needed that hand to pick them up. And just about remembering like the strength of the Spartan community to stand together to navigate something that we never should have had to navigate in the first place.
Yeah, and that everybody processes grief in a different way. That's something that Emily wanted to stress. Now, she also sits on the memorial committee with the university. They are still in the process of figuring out a permanent memorial on campus that would mark this. She also talks about safety and what students want to see there on campus. I'm going to have that part of her interview on the Daily Plus Live at 12:30 today, streaming on Local 4 Plus. So I hope you join me then. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Christy. And we are working to learn what's next for Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. Last night, Farmington Hills City Council voted to demolish the iconic arcade at Orchard Lake and 14 Mile. The plan is to develop the strip mall there into a Meijer and then other modern businesses. The developer is in talks with the owner of Marvin's, and the hope is that the arcade will reopen in the new development. We're hoping to have more reaction on this for you tonight at Local 4 News at 6.
Several new gun laws take effect across the state today. It starts with firearms storage. It addresses whether it is reasonably known a minor child is likely to be on the premises. If that's the case, Michigan law now requires if you keep a firearm stored or left unattended in your home, it must be unloaded and locked, either with a locking device or stored in a locked container. Penalties vary for violations. The legislature wants to cut the cost of gun safety devices in an effort to allow easier access. Many Metro Detroit area police departments also offer free gun locks if you ask for them. In order to buy a gun, whether handgun or a long gun in Michigan now, you will have to undergo a background check. Previously, you only had to have a background check if you were buying a handgun. We have the full list of all of the new laws going into effect in our state today. You can find it on clickondetroit.com right now.
Former President Donald Trump's run for the White House is bringing him here to Metro Detroit. The Republican frontrunner will hold a Get Out the Vote rally in Waterford Township on Saturday night. He'll speak at 7 p.m. at the Elite Jet Center at Oakland International Airport Road. Tickets are general admission, but you have to register to get them. And, you know, I don't know if you guys saw earlier in Will's live shot, there was little white flurries.
Snowflakes.
Yes, snowflakes.
I know. I thought they weren't coming till Thursday.
Just the pretty ones, though.
I might have had some selected hearing, though, for Ashley's forecast all morning.
I'll confirm that you did. Because we've been talking about lake enhanced flurries today that would mainly impact the thumb, but we knew that there could be enough forcing to put a few in the metro area, and a couple have stretched as far west as Lansing. Here's a live look at Metro Airport where you see a few of those flakes coming down. So this should not amount to much accumulation across the metro area, but up to a coating into the thumb area that had a little more of a prolonged period of some snow showers. But we sit at 34 degrees over at Metro Airport, same in Ann Arbor, 33 in Lapeer, and 36 in Monroe. Variable winds out there, but they are starting to pick up. In Lapeer, we have 13-mile-per-hour winds, and those gusts could reach about 20 miles per hour heading into the afternoon. So here are those lake effect snow bands coming off of Lake Michigan, and earlier this morning, this was in the northern half of lower Michigan and now sinking down into southeastern Michigan. Kind of hit or miss, but from Novi south, we're definitely dealing with some snow, and then north of Waterford. So we have a little dry slot in portions of Oakland and Macomb counties. Today, though, cloudy. Will top out in the upper 30s. Gusty winds this afternoon, but we'll time out when you could be grabbing the shovels and putting down some salt coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Ashley, thank you. It is the last day before Lent, which means it's Fat Tuesday. And of course, you want to make sure that you get your punchki before the end of the day.
You have to do it. And I spent the morning at New Palace Bakery on Joseph Campo and Hamtramck, and there was quite the line.
Yeah, there was.
But I mean, it's the best. You got to do it.
Yeah.
But I think it's safe to say that it was worth the wait for most people.
Dig in, everyone.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Just a special early treat.
I do.
Yeah, here you
These
go.
are amazing.
I know.
Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, they're nice.
That's the one I
hot,
almost
fresh.
grabbed, but then I wanted to talk about.
All right, but you guys take a bite. You got to tell me how it is.
Oh yeah, I get
Oh
it, babe.
yeah. What do you?
No words. No words. You guys gotta come here.
I love how his eyes just started rolling to the back of his head. You know what that means.
I loved it. So that reaction obviously speaks for itself. And of course, New Palace Bakery isn't the only place to get your punchki today. So stop by your local bakery to support them or any place that sells them. And remember, calories, well, they don't count on Fat Tuesday.
Thank goodness they don't.
Yeah.
Yellow Light Coffee and Donuts right on East Jefferson in downtown Detroit. They delivered some as well.
That place is good.
I had an apple cinnamon. We shared it, Priya and I.